Welcome everybody. Today on Carla Astrology, I have Maria from Ladyknight of Avalon with me.
Hi.
And we have tea time. I'm actually going to I've been playing around with my all the new stuff on YouTube. At least it's new to me. Look, check this out.
Ooh,
It's tea time.
fancy.
And look.
Awesome. And I see that we're on YouTube, so everything works. Oh, that's so cute.
I know,
I just
right?
have my old Coke cup
Well,
thing here.
it's empty, but
Oh,
Okay,
that's so
so Maria and I have been going down some rabbit holes.
so many rabbit holes.
Oh my gosh, it's unreal.
Yeah.
Like,
So basically, you just get a glimpse into our brains today.
yeah. So we had been talking because you with the Golden Gate, you've learned about the Silver Gate and the Golden Gate, and so like there's certain specific dates, even like what is the Lion's Gate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how we know that that's coming up is by certain signs in the sky, right? Like where we are astrologically.
Yeah. So
So
maybe we should go back to the beginning process of how we even came into all of this, so that we try to untangle this a little bit, if we can. So basically, something that we're always talking about, and that this whole community is also trying to get into, is like, hi B, like in the process of like the spiritual life, we want to go through the ascension, eventually move from 3D to 5D. And the question is always, how do we do this? And one of the channels that I watch, for example, is Amanda Alice. And she always does those videos for the Lionsgate and the Lionsgate portal, and also on 1111. She has another one, and she sometimes ties that together with twin flames. And she always talks about that now the next group of people are moving through the gate and are having their ascension process and stuff like that. And so then in recent years, Real Sky Astrology came up in our community and has been talked about more and more. And we learned that our horoscopes and our zodiac signs are actually different. And so putting all of these things together, my question was like, how can I actually make use of some of these things? And in this whole, I don't know how I found it. I think I was researching those gates, like the 88, 1111, and if any other numbers have that too. And then I found this whole thing about the Silver Gate and the Golden Gate. And I had never heard of that before. And so immediately when I saw the picture, I don't know if you can show that, I was like, oh my God, they talk about Ophiuchus in there. So now the Real Sky Astrology stuff actually starts to make sense. And this was also my way of moving away from Western astrology into Real Sky Astrology. So
is that the
I don't know
one
if
you were
you
thinking of?
know the one with like the purple sky and the galaxy.
Oh, yes.
And so when I saw that, I was like, okay, Real Sky Astrology is the way to go. No, it was on that, I'm going to call it the Wikipedia page.
Oh.
That one, because it looks like a Wikipedia page, kind of. Yeah, that picture. Okay. So when I saw that, and you can see right there, Ophiuchus is like really big, so they actually put that in there. And you see Orion is right between Taurus and Gemini in the sky. And so direct opposite, 180 degrees on the other side, that's where Ophiuchus is.
Yeah.
And so what, and we're going to put all the links to that into the description box afterwards, so you can check that all out. And if you want to read any of that, I can't find words today. So basically what they're saying is in the ascension process, you would move through those gates and you're basically going through the silver gate, which is called the gate of man, which is in Orion, and then move along the zodiacs basically until you come to Ophiuchus, which is then called the gate of the gods. And so we're going through different stages of ascension, and we're doing that over and over again each year. And it says that Ophiuchus and Orion are mirror images of opposing polarity, and together they represent the path of ascension through the gates. And it's talking about like moving through different sequences of consciousness. And so when I saw that, that brought me to the whole, like the portals. And what they are is, it says, they're nothing more than astrological moments when space geometry aligns itself with certain angles, creating communication portals that pass through the dimensions of time and space as we know them. So this whole thing is also kind of tied together with like moving to other dimensions, and like in the 5D, 7D, whatever else comes after that, is like really breaking down those barriers and being able to see the bigger picture and not be just captured here, basically. So the portal gates, such as the 8-8 or 11-11 or even 4-4, whatever other numbers, they are a combination of ancient astrology, Egyptian cosmology, and numerology. And in the whole ascension process, another part that should be mentioned is physics, because we're talking about vibration and frequency. To get to the next level, everything is frequency. That also brings us back to Tesla, and like I said, so many rabbit holes.
Yes. The
And
one, let's see, where was the one that I think it's this one. Yeah, this website, the Ascension Glossary, that has a lot of, like we clicked on the crystal star. There's a lot of links from this actual page that takes you like talking about Christ consciousness. Like even the crystal star, that's talking about 2013, the Christ consciousness emerged on. I mean, I can't even do it justice by trying to explain it myself, but it's all about ascension. So
yeah,
we would like to know, especially like if anybody has any input, what do you think about, like if you're comparing Western to the real sky, I mean, and this is about ascension, which is a pretty important thing. Wouldn't we want to know more exactly when that portal is supposed to open?
Yeah. I think for me, that is really what makes sense about real sky astrology. And I don't really understand how they even came up with the whole system of Western astrology that we have right now, because in Vedic, they also use what's really in the sky. And that's why they have different signs in Vedic. Like, for example, in Western, I'm a Cancer. But in Vedic, I would be a Gemini. In real sky, I'm a Gemini. So Vedic is kind of the closest thing from those two systems. But if I think it was Ptolemy who was like the father of astrology, and when he put those things together, and he, like back then they were doing that like almost 2,000 years ago by just basically looking at the sky. But if he was really looking at the sky, he would have seen that Scorpio is a relatively small constellation, and that Virgo, for example, like the sun takes a really long time to move through Virgo. That's the longest of all the signs. Like even someone who is born on 11/11 is still a Virgo or something like that. Like they're not Scorpio, they're still a Virgo. Like I think it goes all the way up until November 19th, maybe. So Virgo is a really long time. Libra is relatively short. Scorpio is short. Then there's Ophiuchus in it, or basically his foot is just in there. And they all have different lengths in the sky that the sun needs to travel through. So I don't even understand how they even came up with a 30-degree system in the first place.
I don't either. I actually have Julia's Real Sky astrology workbook, and I'm looking to see if she has the break, you know, the signs and when it enters, signs of the zodiac. Okay, so let's start on page 91. I think she probably does. Okay, yeah. So starting with the crab, July 20th through August 10th. And so, okay, yeah. And now we are at, I went ahead and skipped to the snake bearer, which is the magician, which is Ophiuchus. And she calls it the magician. So I don't have her tarot deck, but it's the magician in the tarot deck. And the time frame is from December 1st to December 16th. Now, what's also interesting before Farah, she says she wants to know what we're trying to figure out real quick. So
a lot.
Yeah, our questions are like, so when is the real Golden Gate? You know, how do we find that? What and what are your thoughts on that? Do you think that Western is accurate? I mean, because it's a really big deal, and we're thinking that Western is not accurate, and even Real Sky is fallible. Why? Because it's still off a degree every year. So what are we?
I wouldn't say that Real Sky is off. Real Sky is the one that's expanding, but the dates, for example, let's say the winter solstice has been, yeah, the dates, like in the calendar, they have to be corrected based on Real Sky astrology. For example, winter solstice doesn't seem to be on December 20th anymore, but I think it might be moving more towards December 18th or something.
Right. And has somebody figured it out? We're looking for resources.
Yeah, we're basically just throwing around ideas to see if we can utilize any of these dates and numbers and things for either magical rituals, magical practices, in combination with ascension, manifestation. Like that's what these portals are all about, like the Lionsgate portal, for example, the 1111 portal. They are really big helpers, so to speak, or like big moments when like the veil is opening up a little bit and it's easier to manifest things, to move from 3D to 5D and basically get to the next level. And we're just trying to figure out what we can use, how we can use it, when we can use it. So we're just basically throwing around ideas here. We have no answers. We're just putting out the questions. So if anyone wants to join in on like letting us know what they think, and if you use any of that stuff, tell us in the chat, leave it in the comments. We're really just starting down this rabbit hole.
Right. I like, for myself, what I find extremely interesting. Well, hi, April.
Hi.
Yes. They're based on the Gregorian calendar. And I don't even, I mean, I don't think that's accurate. You know, I mean, we have so many different calendars. So, I mean, does anybody know who has the right one?
I don't, well, I guess at the point in time when each calendar was created, it was correct. Right. But I guess back then they didn't factor in that the universe is expanding. Like after the Big Bang, everything is still going this way, and it will continue to go this way for a very, very long time. And so they probably thought that everything is fixed and the universe was created and everything has its place and it's not moving away from there. And so that's why those calendars are probably, like, they were right at some point, but they're not really right anymore, I guess.
So
that would be my theory.
Almost like we need to go back to like what the sailors did, or, you know, Farmer's Almanac, and look in the sky and find
the answers are basically in the sky.
And that's going to tell us at least what we need to look at.
Yeah.
And this is stellarium. I went out this morning and took some snapshots of where everything was in the sky, and there's Ophiuchus on the eastern horizon where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm really finding interesting is this. We just had the 1111, which I think was associated with the Golden Gate, right?
No, I put those things together. The
Oh, okay.
1111 is based on numerology, 11 being a master number, so really good for manifestation and stuff. And I was just wondering because traditionally that would be in Scorpio time.
Okay.
And looking at this whole, like the picture that we saw initially, uh, with Ophiuchus being by Scorpio, I was wondering if that matches astrologically. And I found out it doesn't. So 1111 can still be used numerologically,
Okay.
but it's not at the Golden Gate. And the Golden Gate would actually be more around like between the 12th or 18th of December, kind of moving into the winter solstice in a way.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where the actual Golden Gate would be if we use real sky. And then on the other side, the 160 degrees across the circle, the Silver Gate in Orion would then be around maybe June 19th. So that's where those basically on the astrological calendar would be.
Okay, so it's interesting then that the Golden Gate, or here we have the winter solstice coming, and Christmas, and we across the world associate this time also with Jesus's birth, which I personally don't believe that, but here we are talking about ascension, we're talking about the Christ consciousness, and the Golden Gate portal is ascending from earth to heaven, correct?
Well, the Golden Gate is, if it's called the Gate of the Gods, that means we're moving closer to whatever God's source energy, Christ consciousness is, basically. Yeah. Evolving.
Yeah. So, and this is the rabbit hole that we're going down is, are we correctly doing these rituals for this? Would it be, if we knew more about when these dates are accurate, then these powerful like rituals that we're doing or whatever, wouldn't that like intensify the power of what we're trying to do? Like, kind of makes me think of CERN. What are they trying to do,
Yeah. But then also it's like we use Halloween, for example, when the veil is thinning and we get to communicate a little more easily with the dead, for example. So it's like that as well. It's like one of those days. And yes, April, definitely. Let's have a chat about this. We can schedule another tea time and have you on, and I'd love to hear what you think about this. So yeah, Sirius was a good keyword that you gave, because it says that the Lion's Gate on 8/8 is when the fixed star Sirius, Earth, and Orion, or basically Belt, are aligned in the sky. And that actually, even in real sky, happens during Leo season. So that really deserves the name Lion's Gate. Yeah, that's like, it looks kind of interesting, especially when you put that in combination with the pyramids of Giza. And then you can see how the three stars in the belt perfectly align with the pyramids. And that is just like, yeah, there it is. And you can see that belt and follow the lines down to the pyramids. And that's like Sirius is, I don't know where Sirius would be in this picture, but yeah, when everything aligns, that would be like for the Lion's Gate. And then for the winter solstice, Orion would actually be kind of tipped on the side, I believe. And then with Sirius, that also kind of makes a line. So that is very interesting how these things have been put together. And if I could travel back in time and talk to anyone, I would love to talk to the people who came up with this concept.
Yeah, me too, because it's, I mean, it's, I don't, we are talking about things that that man has wondered about from the beginning of time.
Yeah.
Is, are we the, what is heaven? Where do we go when we die? I mean, why are we here? My personal belief is that we're here to ascend. Is like gain as much knowledge in this 3D physical form, and then you know um take it back to the Godhead. you
Mhm.
know so I feel
Yeah.
like these things are really important, and you know when other people are doing this work for me, it
Yeah, that thing
kind of
there is
helps.
awesome. But to quickly answer Farah's question, no, I have never heard of the yoga cycles. I would have to write down, well, we have it here in chat, so I'll have to Google that when we're done
Yes,
to see
definitely.
what that's all about. But yeah, but the thing that you have on screen right there, you just showed me that before we started, so I have not seen that before, but that is so interesting because
Mhm.
they put all of that in combination with CERN, which I haven't even thought of. I thought CERN was to, well, actually, it does make sense because CERN is trying to recreate the Big Bang kind of thing in a way to find that. But I mean, with the gates and like God creation, all of that kind of makes sense. So um, in this here, wait, I have it too, uh, where it talked about like opening the gates, and they're using CERN to basically artificially create what we as people are supposed to create with frequencies and energies and vibration to open those gates and to walk through them. That's apparently maybe what they're doing in CERN artificially by pressing a button and shooting those particles there and to say, yeah, here we are, here we're moving through the gate. And they even want to build a bigger uh, collider than the one they already have, which is like 2 or 3 times the size of what they have to make better simulations. And everyone was really worried that they would open up some black holes, but I mean, who knows? Who knows? There's so much in this, so much.
Yeah, it's like you start down one rabbit hole and there's a whole bunch of other ones connecting,
Where
like,
does it end? Where
where are
does it
we
end?
going?
Will we
And
ever know?
April, she says, to use ascension lingo, I think the notions of these numerology blah, blah, correspondences are part of the fourth dimension. Which
Yeah,
is another interesting theory, because I feel like you got to go through that to get to the fifth. And the
yeah,
fifth is like I feel our consciousness is exists there without the body. So I
yeah.
feel like maybe, I mean, there's just so many
Yeah,
different.
that's another thing. Like all of these dimensions, yeah, we're in 3D now, but we want to go to 5D. But whatever happened to 4D? And then we want to go to 7D. So where's 6D? Who came up with these? And what do these dimensions even mean? What is the next level? What do I get when I reach the next level? And I like, this is so much.
It
I
is.
wish the day had more hours so that I would have more time to find all of these things and read and have more questions, find more answers. It's
You
just, yeah.
you had so this was one of the links that we were clicking off of the Ascension Chronicles, and talking about the crystal star. So when Farah said ancient India says in 2025 we'll move into the next level, I thought it was interesting because this is saying I'd never heard of what the crystal star was. And it says
Mhm.
in January 2013, our planet has come to the time of the promised return of Christ consciousness and the externalization of the crystal star presence. And it made me, so then I had the question, okay, because there's like references of the law of one. I don't know if anybody's material with the law of one, or familiar with the law of one material, but uh, in that interview that where they got all of this, where Ra comes through the many voices or whatever comes through this woman, and they ask her about the majors or the Egyptian tarot, and Ra comes back and says, yeah, that's pretty accurate, except for the star card. So I'm thinking, and here they're linking it with the Christ consciousness. And then you had mentioned this right here reminded you of something.
Yeah, let's let the people in the chat maybe guess. Like this, when I saw that, it reminded me of a tarot card.
Yeah.
Can you guess which one? I was like, wait a minute, because since I'm reading like Golden Dawn stuff in connection to tarot, like I'm not going down the Golden Dawn ritual path so far. For me, it's just tarot. But the connections that the tarot makes to all of these ancient things, it's so interesting how those things were put together. And so now when I see those things, my brain automatically goes like thinking tarot. And like, it's kind of like, I really enjoy this, like collecting all of this information together and kind of like, yeah, that's what I was thinking too. We have the 2 keys, we have the Pope's hat, we have even the gold and silver, which the Golden Dawn has as well, for like male and female or masculine feminine energy, which we also find in the gold and silver dolphin and the cups, for example, like the 2 of Cups from the Golden Dawn. So yeah, that kind of like brings it back for me to the things that I'm already studying in combination with tarot, and that always makes me so happy when I find connections and I'm like, oh yes, and now this is making more sense, but now I also get more questions. I want to know this. So I really enjoy this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. Nice. Wow. So, I mean, thank you everybody, because I don't know where to go or what to do.
Yeah.
It's like, but these questions are real. It's like the thirst is real. I want to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially because we had talked about like using the mastering the zodiac to calculate exactly like when Ophiuchus is in certain houses to help you, like, say, with the different houses, then if you do the ritual, say when Ophiuchus is in the first house.
Or just like in general, like I use that particular calculator to, yes, let's do that. To find out like at what specific like day or time either of the planets is in which sign, for example, where the sun is currently, like what zodiac sign are we actually in, where is the moon, for example, a full moon. There's a lot of people doing tarot readings saying like, oh, tonight we have the full moon in Sagittarius, when in reality it would actually be in a different sign. And so that's why I look at the chart calculator for from masteringthezodiac.com, not sponsored, and to find out where everything is, so that I can harness the actual energy from the sky and say that if the moon is not in Sagittarius but in Scorpio, then that's not fire, it's water, and that would be a very different energy that I'm working with in a ritual. So for me, going with Western astrology for any kind of magic practices makes no sense anymore at all, because I would be looking for the wrong thing if I wanted to like draw it down or something.
Absolutely. Which makes total sense to me, even, but it's funny because I never really paid attention to that until you were talking about that it was wrong. Or that you felt it wasn't accurate. So now I'm like, oh, wait a minute now. I got to check it out now, because I never, still working on this whole manifesting thing.
Yeah. Even with that, like with the whole manifesting thing, since those gates and portals are helpful with all of that. Yes. The birth chart. Exactly. Like, what can I do? What can I utilize that I already have? what do I need to put on top of that, and when can I do that? When is the best time to make the most use of everything that we have available instead of just fishing in the dark?
Okay, so we're going to put all the links that we've come up with. Maria has some too. Like I'll put what I have in the description box, and then I don't know if we can we add, can we put
Well,
links
I can put
comments?
something in the chat right now. Let me just
go
back to the so where are we? I think I'm a moderator. Yes, so there is the Mastering the Zodiac. That's where this site right now, where you can calculate your horoscope according to Real Sky, and look where everything is. And what I really like about this is that you can type in any date. We actually, just before we started, for fun, looked at the year 1, and since you can't go back to the year 0, but in the year 1, December 24th, what Jesus's horoscope would say, in a way, kind of. So based on that, on the 24th of December, at the beginning of our way of counting time, Jesus would have been a Sagittarius. So yeah, you can have all kinds of fun with that. And then I'm going to put in the link to the gates. So here, this one is for the silver gate, but it also has the word golden gate in the text, and you can just click on that and get from one to the next. And then, yeah, there is so much that that you can find just from those things alone, and go there. Okay, bye, April. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Yes, thank you very much. And I will email, definitely. So maybe we need to start a group just called Tea Time, that people can just jump in and, hey, let's talk about this.
Yeah. Like there's, or if anyone has any more information on this, let us know. Maybe we'll do another chat together, and you just bring us your information, resources, research, whatever you have, and we can just go down the rabbit hole even further.
Absolutely. Is there anything else that you wanted to discuss about this, or any other questions?
Oh, I have so many questions.
Well,
I got questions. No, but for now, this is like, we basically just wanted to show, like, this is the kind of stuff that we talk about. This is what we're interested in. This is like a normal conversation between us. One of us will find something, tell the other one, and then we go down the rabbit hole for hours, and we're like, oh, look at this, and have you seen this? And it's like, this is what we do. This is how we talk.
Yeah, I also like the aspect that Ophiuchus is represented by the serpent bearer, and the serpent bearer is and the serpent energy is like the Kundalini is the serpent, and that's all about ascension and awakening, and like what do they call that, your DNA, awakening your DNA or something like that.
Yeah. And there's also a serpent in the tree of life.
Yeah. And DNA has the 2 serpents. Yeah, there's just so much that is correlating, and I think we're just touching the surface of what's hidden.
Definitely.
Which takes to the other thing, the 13, the 13th sign. It's been hidden in Western. You don't, but it shares a house with Scorpio. What is that? The 7th or the 8th house? I forget, but
I never know the house numbers. Really.
And it's about transformation.
I just know the 7th house is relationship. That's the one I know.
Oh, okay. So it's probably the 8th house then.
And the 12th house is like karma, past lives, and stuff like that.
Yeah, okay. It's moksha. And I think that's the 8th house. No, but I think Ophiuchus might be in the 7th house. I guess I'll have to, or maybe, yeah, I don't know. So, Vulcan. Farah says, "Are you familiar with Vulcan?" The only thing I know about Vulcan is live
Mm-hmm.
long and prosper.
Yes. But even there, like we can find so much of like once we actually go down the rabbit hole and we find those things, I then see that in a lot of like TV shows and movies and stuff, and I'm thinking,
Yeah,
okay, they
it's
already know this. Like they put that in there.
self-disclosure.
Is that a
Mhm.
coincidence?
No, it's somebody's trying to tell the truth. Somebody's trying to get it out there. And
Hmm.
oh, okay. She said it's esoteric astrology. And
Ooh.
we've talked about this before. Farah and I have. So that's another rabbit hole that we're going to have to go down because they probably know about this stuff,
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, I am very grateful to everybody that showed up in chat. And I hope everybody, once they are watching the replay, or they watch the replay and
Hmm.
comment their thoughts, and we will meet here again at an
Yeah.
undisclosed date.
At an undisclosed location.
Yes.
And also, like, put links in the comments if you have any
Yeah.
good sources
Mhm.
that we should check out. Yeah, just put links in.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Because this is the kind of stuff that I love to talk about and speculate about. So, all
Yeah.
right. Well, we are going to sign off, and we will, like I said, we'll meet back here soon.
Bye.